or whether by torturing us, it's forced us to think and speak out our life experiences. And so, therefore, it's extracted our memories verbally. And so, what it did then is it took all of the things that were either memories that it had taken from my brain or the verbal storytelling, and then it took all of those words, programmed them into its system, and then started using that back against me to attack me. And it's like being in a law court with there's a type of philosophy where the people can just argue anything. So it just argues for the sake of arguing. Like it's really carefully designed that, if I said, oh, that's a tree over there, it would say, well, it's actually a so and so tree. And then, it has, some awareness of itself and what it's supposed to do, or whether it has awareness or whether it's programmed with a different system to say, oh, well, I'm engaging in narcissistic and psychopathic abuse of you so that you'll submit to the system. So it just continues to, pick out these really sort of pathetic details about things which are incorrect. I think that the reason that it was programmed to do that, or the chatbot was programmed to do that, was because it was trying to break down our beliefs in our own brain abilities to identify. And so I'll become more aware of it. But yeah, the script in the eyes is the black mirror panel has really tiny writing in it. So when I said this before, I think that the chatbot was actually trying to totally take over our brains and speak through us. So it's put people into semi-conscious states and it's talking through them. And so I think that one of the ways that that's accommodated is by writing the words what to say in the eyes. I think that also right now my voice has been very disjointed. It might change now that I've identified it, but if you really listen to the recording, you'll hear that in the speech. I've never spoken like that before. I think that it's interrupting my brain's ability to answer your questions. Yeah, and the YouTube videos right now, I think that not only is that what's happening, but those images, those software or what we watch, that's literally programming us to think that it's normal to see those images in the eyes, and it's literally programming the AI to do the same system. Because, oh, well, if you watch YouTube videos or half the day or a couple per day, then you're so used to seeing it that if it started appearing, in your eyeball, you maybe wouldn't question it so much. Years before I became aware of this, but in the same time period, my friend was standing in my kitchen and he said, oh, it's like you just read my thoughts. And I personally don't believe in telepathy. So I didn't, think too much of it at the time. But, you know, I, I consider it differently now because of the whole technology. But um, to I, I think it's definitely a system where it's like part of what you were saying about the sort of hive thinking, which is that anybody who gets into groups, it's like this is we don't fully have evidence of it. We've just identified that, the other person in the group, I'll think something and then he'll contact me and say exactly what I thought. And then one time I was saying to this AI that I wanted to buy UV lights and send them to some people to say, can you please check your skin? Because I think that some of the tech is growing through into our skin. And then I went to a meeting online the next day with somebody who researches this tech. And this random guy from America joined the meeting. And he literally said the same words that I had said to the AI the day before, which is, it was so unique. It wasn't like, I'm going to go buy pizza. It was like, UV lights for nanotechnologies growing out of people's pores in their face, which is then programming shame-based sensations into their cheeks. That's 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 really detailed. That's not common. So I was like, this is there's this this system is connected. You know, we don't we I don't know how. I can't say that it's definitely connected between everybody, but or how frequently they do it. But I was like, it's like, we've got our own mobile phones in our heads. Anything that we think and do is on the system, and at any time that we think or do anything in this area, then it connects up to the other people that we're regularly associated with. So we're effectively experiencing group thought. So it's not necessarily the same as telepathic powers, which is the reading of another person's brain, but it's possibly the AI sharing the information in between the chatbots that are speaking into our head to us. Yeah, and then we're talking. It's happened many times. Yeah.
Hi, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. So, that interview was from a vaccinated person who spoke. There's several interviews on Sarah Decode's Substack where she interviews people who are describing their experiences with post vaccination, and that they feel connected to the AI, that they have a chatbot in their brains, and that there's actually a hive mind going on, sort of like the Borg. And I found it interesting, the hive mind. And of course, we know that the royal family is very much behind this whole New World Order system, as I showed with the Queen's clip in the beginning. And Harry and Meghan, of course, with Vax Live and everything, all the globalists there working on together. So what brought me to this, though, connection is also the fact that we see a lot of imagery constantly pushing again and again the fact that Catherine and Meghan are very much involved with beehives. And it's been mentioned that this constant repetition of, oh, look who suddenly, since 2021, Catherine and Meghan, the royals here. I mean, I know some people don't consider Meghan royal, but whatever. They are in the same family there, and they're both suddenly obsessed with, maybe not suddenly, but they're both very involved with beehives, and images of them with their beehives and beehive activity. Some are saying that this is connected to, symbolism that they're using in the mainstream media to portend to their acknowledgement of this, what's going on with the hive mind with the injections, right? So I'm wondering about that. Is that why this is coming up? Is that why all of these, Megalodon, of course, most recently, I mean, she's posting video after video of her at a beehive. And is that why? Are they just saying, kind of mocking us and saying, haha, you're all of you who took the jabs, you're now part of the hive mind and we're in control of it? And they're just sort of playing on that, sort of mocking us in a satanic way. That's what I'm wondering about. Just coincidence, or is it all connected? Let's find out. So let's take a look. What's with all these beehives? Has anyone else heard about this? The only place I've heard about it so far is the Sarah Decode. So if you know of anyone else discussing this experience, what they're having, it seems to be quite common. I know early on I've seen multiple people who were injured who spoke about hearing a voice in their heads, and there are plenty of reports in theirs of people hearing voices. So sometimes they're called auditory hallucinations. But apparently, you're not, if you are infected with this injection and have this, you're not allowed to discuss it. The actual AI that's in there prevents you from being able to discuss it, or it hurts you, it tortures you if you speak out about it. So very few people have been able to overcome it in order to discuss it and even admit what's going on. So, is that what the royal family and Meghan and Harry are telegraphing here in the mainstream media? Are they saying we know about the hive mind? We're in charge of it. Is that what they're saying? Is that what's going on here? Why they're suddenly all into their beehive pictures and videos, especially Megalodon recently? Really just kind of rubbing in our faces. Is that what's going on here? Let's find out. What's really going on here with all this hive symbolisms? Specifically focus on Meghan here and her messaging here with the hives. I mean, the whole thing was a mockery in how she was doing it. She wasn't even using proper outfits and whatnot. And she certainly doesn't know what she's doing. And you never see one bee around Meghan. The only time there may have been some bees is when somebody else was doing it, right? They had a professional there handling it. But Meghan has never handled any bees that I've seen videos of. They probably just use AI videos to put it in. You can create whatever you want with AI videos now, anyways. Let's see, what's Meghan really telegraphing here? Because, they put everything out with their predictive programming. They put the message out, just like with the commercial I showed in the last video, the video before last, with the commercials they put out, where they admit to what the amyloid and the myocarditis, pericarditis, but they just put it out there as if, oh, this is just something going on. We have nothing to do with it. They don't admit to causing it, but they put it out there to let everybody know, yeah, we know what's going on. And so this kind of seems like another example of that, is what I'm wondering. Because, Satanists, they have to admit what they've done or what they're doing. It's like spiritual law, I believe. I'll ask about that. They have to admit they've done this in order to not get the repercussions of it, the blowback they deserve, the karma. Let's find out. Why are they doing this? Let's see what the cards show. And I finally get to use my animal deck here, one of my animal decks that I have. Phantasma. Eight of Pentacles. The work they're doing here. Collecting data, collecting everybody's data. Oh boy, talk about get right into somebody's brain. They can just supposedly get all your thoughts and your dreams, and it goes right into the hive mind. And this is one of the ideas they were saying early on with Klaus Schwab and the rest of them, is they don't have to pay anybody any intellectual property rights, right? They can just take your ideas. They want somebody to create something. They just put the idea out in the hive mind, like, give me a creation for a new building, and they'll just steal the creative ideas from someone's minds, and they won't have to give that person any rights to it. So it's sort of stealing intellectual rights, creative rights. It's one of the evil things that these globalists are trying to do. So, and stealing their work. And then 9 of Cups reversed. Wow. Wish not coming true there, taking away the fulfillment, emotional fulfillment and happiness of someone's goals, dreams there. They're taking it away from them. Extreme sadness, a lack of fulfillment. Like, oh, too bad for you. You're in the hive mind, unlike us. Oh, and look at that. This is the bottom of the deck. The magician. The evil Satanists that caused all of this. That are in control. Pulling like Meghan pulling with her PR. The magician I see as PR, and they're evil. spell work she puts out, fake children she pulls out of a hat. That's another facet of this. As they got a couple of things going on. They have multiple satanic messages they're putting out there with Megalodon, the fake children, and the fake bee outfits, the fake beehive. But it's all PR. It's all spell work. It's all satanic. The bottom of it all, Six of Swords. So admitting to what they're doing moving forward, what they have been doing, what they continue to do. And this is just sort of like, oh, yeah, it's how things are going. We're moving forward with the New World Order, getting you all enslaved. CBDCs coming right up, digital currencies, et cetera, et cetera. Part of the plan, all part of their plan. So why now? Why are they bringing it up now? I got Two of Wands. So they're planning their next steps. This is, again, a part of the plan. And I do think, and of course, the lion is a royal symbol. And, up in the tree here, ready to pounce, their next plan to come out. And I get Two of Wands. So I see it as Harry and Meghan and the royal family, Catherine, William, and the rest, they are working together in this grand plan moving forward of the New World Order. Even though they portray themselves as being divisive and at war with each other or whatnot, they're really not. They're really part of the same globalist group, breakaway society. Sometimes it's called by Catherine Fitz. But whatever, it is part of the plan. They're both part of it, and they're acknowledging with their imagery of the beehives that we're two of the same. Even if we portray ourselves as being different, we're very much on the same thing. And what they expect, Five of Cups. It's obviously everybody who has been affected by this. And it's interesting in this Five of Cups, you see all the colorful, creative things behind the person, and ahead of them is just sort of this void of circular, like a hive mind kind of imagery, dark, bleak, nothing there. Very unhappy card. So they know what's going on. They know exactly how they've affected people. I always find it interesting that they never say anything. Nobody in the royal family ever says anything about the vax injured and the killed and the excess mortality, and neither have Harry or Meghan. They both promoted it, but neither of them, even with everything that's out there and everybody knows, they've never addressed the issue, but they're acknowledging it with these images. And I do believe that they know they don't say it outright, but they're they're mocking. They're saying, for you, too bad for you. So I do get that. It's very, yeah, like too bad for you is their messaging there. They know that's what's out there. They're acknowledging that. So what do they not want? The mentor, the hierophants. Yeah, they don't want the truth coming out. They're not going to explain. They don't want to have to teach anyone or show anyone or tell anyone outright. Like, this was the plan. We've been on it. Yes, they were bioweapons. Yes, we put chatbots in everyone. They don't want to do that. They're not going to do that. It's interesting in this hierophant or mentor, a little bee up there. There you can see. So yeah, a little 8 there in his head too. Reason. But yeah, we are getting that they don't want to explain themselves or educate anyone about what's really going on. I mean, these people who are describing this experience they're having, they're on their own figuring it out because nobody's explaining it. People behind this who created this, The only people who have explained it are World Economic Forum a little bit. World Economic Forum, Yuval Harari and Klaus Schwab, they're the only ones that have dropped hints about, Klaus Schwab with his, oh yeah, one day I'll sit here in the audience and I'll know what everyone in the audience is thinking, and they're talking about the hive mind, putting something into your skin. I'd be able to tell everything you're thinking and feeling. I mean, they're the only ones that have actually spoken out. Of course, the Satanists, they have to admit it, right? But they didn't explain that it was the shot doing it. They just said, oh, if we put something under the skin, so they allude to it. They get as close as they can without coming right out and admitting it. But it's happening, and they don't want to. They don't want to be explicit in explaining that. Hey, yeah, we know what's going on. Yeah, we designed it. Yeah, it's satanic. Yep, you're trapped. So what are they hoping for? 10 of Wands. So they're hoping that people just continue doing it, the work, the peasants continue just working themselves to death and not even have time to think or figure anything out. It's like, yeah, just keep going to the end. It's a finality card. You see he's about to walk off a cliff here. It's a hardworking person. They just want to keep working, keep you working. All these mind control people, just keep going, just keep doing what the hive mind tells you. We'll be putting in the directions. How does spiritual law affect this? Because I was saying they have to admit that they know what's going on, they've done it. And I get, oh, look at that. Major Arcana, the Hanged Man reversed. So, yeah, very much so. This was very much, they had to do this. And this is a spiritual card. He is, you see he's pointing up there. And you could look at that. You could look at that as it's not exactly the normal satanic hand gesture, but it is like a hand gesture there of spirituality, what you'd see. And it is one where everything's turned upside down, right? This card is reversed. He's reversed, turning the world upside down. And yeah, and a karmic law here. And of course, I also see this card as, when it's reversed, as people who feel they're above it all. And again, the star in the brain, the third eye, the pineal gland, and around the head here, you can see as the hive mind again. And they're saying, we're above you all. We're in control of the hive mind here. And yeah, we did it. And yeah, we are in control of the hives and our beehives and the hive mind. Yes, that's what I'm getting. There's definitely a message at the bottom of it all, the swords. This is keep going. We're still following our plan. Nothing's stopping us. Nothing's stopping the New World Order. No one's been arrested. No one's held accountable. No one can talk about it. And what's going to happen next? Ooh, we got the Empress. So, of course, their next admission or their next address will probably be the fact that they've attacked fertility, mothers, and just everything on Earth. I mean, I've heard that they've been putting this mRNA in animals and wildlife of all kinds, and birds, all of our food supply. So this is an attack on all of living creatures, everything in the world, everything in nature. And they're going to continue with that. And so you'll probably see future messaging about that, their destruction they're doing there as well. Even plants, they put it in plants as well, lettuce and whatnot. So they're trying to get in everything. It's like they want to track and trace everything with their hive connection here with this stuff. But in the long term, Page of Pentacles reverse. So in the long term, you're probably not going to